Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the 2012 MLG Winter Championships here in Columbus, Ohio. My name is Axel, joined by Silent, and we're about to jump into a best-of-3 series from Group A, still in pool play today, between MC and CrazyMoving. Now, some people are like, CrazyMoving, who's that?
I'm one of those people.
All right, well,
I don't know who that is.
Fortunately, I know a little bit about the guy. Now, Infinity 7, first of all, a huge shout out to them. They're one of those teams, like technically North American, but they like kind of sort of pioneered the acquisition phase of Koreans to North American style teams.
Yeah.
And as I'm talking to MC in the chat as we're getting ready to get that underway, but CrazyMoving, he is Korean as far as I'm concerned. I'm fairly sure, and he's one of those players that was one of the first ones to join a foreign team. And Infinity 7, they're pretty darn strong. They're one of those teams that's pretty under the radar. They're not like an EG.
Yeah.
They're not like a Liquid. They're not
Mhm.
like a Mouse. But they're pretty darn good. They have decent clan results. So CrazyMoving, I actually talked to the manager of Infinity 7 before the tournament started. I'm like, hey, Infinity 7, should we be looking out for them? And he's like, heck yes. And I'm like, okay, they're always going to say that. I'm like, which player specifically should we most look out for? And he said CrazyMoving. So their team has a lot of confidence in this guy, but he's got quite a test against SKMC, as we can see his card coming up on the screen there.
I mean, clearly CrazyMoving is a fantastic player making his way through the open bracket, but looking at MC right now, he's struggled right now in his pool play. He's currently, what I believe, 1-3.
Yeah, I mean
1-3, and he's faced up against Terran players and had trouble. And this is a PvZ matchup right now. He does have a 68 win ratio, which is extremely high, but surprising though is Terran matchup is also 70%, and he's been kind of subpar in that right now. So this could be a stepping stone for MC to try and gain some momentum here and not lose any mental focus that he may have had.
Yeah, and honestly, looking at those percentages, every single one of them is fantastic. This guy's a very good player. Again,
Yeah.
he is 1-3 though, so he has some work to do. So let's go ahead and look at the groups really quickly here, so we know exactly what's going on, what the context is of this situation. Of course, MKP is at the top there at 4 wins, 0 losses. Somewhat surprising, perhaps, but not really. He just demolished everyone at Winter Arena.
He's playing so solidly right now. He almost looks unstoppable from the way he's been playing. He is being an absolute boss right now. He's showing why he won the Winter Arena, and he's just been insanely solid. It is incredible just the way that he's playing right now and the level that he's at.
Yeah, he's definitely one to look out for to win this entire tournament. Again, the winner from all of these groups automatically get a spot in championship winners bracket, which is huge. Second place in that group right now, we see Gonzi at 3-2. A pretty solid performance, well on his way to getting top 2 in that group. Sase, 2-3, has some work to do. Just to beat Thorzin though, so well on his way to getting himself in a decent position in the championship losers bracket. Sase cannot get first place in this group. CrazyMoving, 1-2, still has a chance, has to make some magic happen though, has to beat MC, and has to beat everyone pretty much, and has to hope Marine King Prime loses a couple. But CrazyMoving may be in control of that. Actually, I'm pretty sure he lost to MKP. I don't exactly know that.
Yeah, essentially what it boils down to at this point is people fighting for that second place battle. We know that MKP, I believe, he's locked up third with that, or he's locked up first. Sorry, what am I saying?
At 4-0, not necessarily. He can still lose twice, and then someone else can be 4-2, and then he'd be tied.
Well, I think they only play 5 games total, I believe. Correct.
There's 6. Actually, I think you're right.
Because there's 6 people in the group, right?
Yeah,
so 5
right.
games.
So
so yeah, MKP has actually locked up that spot.
His spot, since he has 0 losses.
So even if he loses right now, he's in a very comfortable position. So
chilling.
MKP is in fact going to the winners' championship bracket.
But of course, we're talking about MC and CrazyMoving.
Yes.
Fighting their way up.
Of course, yeah. This like CrazyMoving. We'll have to see what his style is right now.
And it's interesting because I think what happened in the open bracket was in the winners' open bracket. It was him versus Puma. Puma showed up late, and I think CrazyMoving was given a win. He was given a win in that, and then the CrazyMoving won the next one in the Baneling bus. So, you know, a lot of things to consider in this matchup. Obviously, a win would be extremely advantageous to both of these players, as I'm getting the map choices from these 2 players. But I'm excited, man. CrazyMoving versus MC should be great.
Yeah, like on this stage, I'm sure CrazyMoving has faced some very good opponents, but we'll see how he performs now in pool play in a live
Yeah.
event setting, such as at MLG right now, which he's currently playing, and against MC. MC very solid, even though he is faltering a little bit in the groups right now. Still, you cannot count either of these players out. It's going to be a close match regardless. First map is going to be MLG Shakura's Plateau. So we're looking at a macro game right now. Most likely a Forge Fast expand. We can already preview the early openings here from both players. Probably a gasless expansion attempt, maybe even 3 hatch from CrazyMoving. We'll see though. There's very possible all-ins, especially going Forge Fast expansion. You know, Nidus all-ins, Roach all-ins, Baneling busting if you really want to get advantageous. So we're just waiting right now for CrazyMoving to join the game.
I mean, anything can really happen in an MLG tournament.
Any
we see players come
really,
out of nowhere sometimes.
anything could be
a couple
possible.
MLGs ago. Trimaster was one of those who came out of nowhere.
Oh, yes.
CrazyMoving, another one of those players.
Yeah.
MLG, a great stage to really test yourself, to really see which players are serious, which players are not, and to see who's in the woodworks, who hasn't really yet evolved from there yet, who's trying to make a name for themselves in the scene. CrazyMoving trying to do that, one of those players. We'll have to see how he matches up against MC, but in order for that to happen, he has to join the game. But before we do that, I think we're going to head to a quick break, and then after that, we will be back with MC versus CrazyMoving. Don't go anywhere. My name is Axel. His name is Silence. We'll be back with the 2012 MLG Winter Championships, game number 1 between MC and CrazyMoving in just a bit. 2012 MLG Winter Championships. My name is Axel, joined by Silence, and without any further ado, we are ready to jump into game 1 of a best of 3 between MC and CrazyMoving. The map will be Shakura's Plateau. This is group letter pool A action going on here. Both these players relatively down there in the standings, but here we are in the game in the bottom right-hand location. We have the red Protoss player MC from Team SK. His opponent in the top left-hand location. It's the blue Zerg player CrazyMoving from Team Infinity 7.
Yeah, cross positions here on Shakura's Plateau. I mean, we could take time to talk about the map, but we can talk about what MC is going to be doing first off. We see that probe going for the natural expansion.
No, wait. Oh, I thought it was early. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah,
I was freaking out.
Like, what are you doing, actually?
Yeah, man, I thought
chill,
I was freaking out a little bit.
It's all good,
MLG's pretty crazy, man. But no,
anything can happen.
9 pylon at his natural
yes,
expansion.
of course.
Nothing unusual to see here.
You never do know. Sometimes MC will, in fact, mix it up. Who knows? He may even choose to go for a cannon rush if he thinks that is the viable choice here, but he's going to scout CrazyMoving just a little bit later here. And, of course, CrazyMoving, like we said earlier, before we went to commercial break there, he is a little bit of an unknown. And this may make MC feel a little bit uncomfortable because he's not too familiar with what CrazyMoving may do, and he's not very familiar with his playstyle. But, of course,
it's true.
No doubt MC has a set book of plays that he deals with Zerg, time in, time out. So he's not going to be too afraid of an unknown opponent.
And that's a good point. Like, that's what's so different about MLG compared to, say, GSL.
Yes.
In GSL, you can study your opponent. You can study his replays. You can prepare. You can spend a week preparing for a specific matchup. That is not the case in MLG. This is a 3-day tournament. You're playing game after game after series after series after series, and you have to have a great set of builds ready to go, ready to use. And as we look at the builds right now, looks like the Zerg player CrazyMoving going for a pool on about 12 or 13, pretty standard in that regard. Adding on his natural expansion, and MC unable to prevent that from going down. That's a little bit surprising. Usually you want to patrol your probe and prevent that hash from going down, maybe even put a pylon there, but MC not doing that. Yeah,
a little misstep there by MC. He did in fact go Nexus first though, so it would have made him a little bit further ahead if he would delay that hatchery, but it's not a huge mistake. Forge is on the way now, and he's adding on a second pylon. So we're looking very standard from this time. No gases quite yet from the Zerg, so he may choose up to move up to a very fast 3 base here against this Forge Fast expansion from MC. He's now adding on his gateway at the front wall, and it looks like he's made a nice soft wall where that Zealot can actually fill in the gap between the pylon as he adds on that cannon there between the pylon and the gateway.
Yeah, and one thing we always have to consider in this matchup is what kind of pressure is the Protoss going to apply to the Zerg. You can't just let the Zerg, you can't just leave him to his own devices. You can't let him drone up. The Protoss must set the pace of the game, set the tone of the game. Now, there are a number of ways you can do this at a Protoss player, okay? Let's do a cannon rush kind of thing. Let's put some cannons inside of my opponent's third and try to harass that a little bit. Let's do a +1 really fast 4-gate timing off of 2 bases. That's really good too. You Chrono Boost the heck out of your forge, Chrono Boost the crap out of your Cybernex core as well. Another thing you can do, build a Stargate. Build a Void Ray, Chrono Boost that Void Ray, send that to the third of your opponent, add some Phoenixes, try to do some harassment with some Stargate play.
Yeah, there's a lot of options from Protoss behind this Forge Fast expansion. You know, it allows him to do a lot of things because he gets his 2-base up relatively fast here, so he's got 2-base income, and that allows you to support a lot of infrastructure, and so you would therefore have a lot of options from that. We're seeing a very fast +1, so this may in fact be an early, let's say, 4-gate zealot pressure. Looks like that probe is trying to move out into the middle of the map here, maybe to produce a proxy pylon, but it looks like he's going to go straight for that natural expansion, trying to scout out possibly an early roach timing here from CrazyMoving. But CrazyMoving hasn't even got gassed yet, so there's no worry for MC from that yet, but he just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, no, this is exactly what you have to do as a Protoss player. You got to send that probe in around the 5 to 6 minute mark. See the status of your opponent. He did not end up getting up into the main base of CrazyMoving to see the timing of those gases. But he knows the third is there. He knows the natural is there. You know, he probably got a good look at the drone saturation, but let's see what MC is doing. A Stalker's on the way, getting his Zella behind it, Chrono boosting out Warp Gate, Chrono boosting out his +1. Actually, no Chrono boost on that just yet. Probably wants to use the time, these time to finish at the same time and adding on 3 gateways. So it looks like it's going to be a 4-gate +1 timing from MC. No gases in his natural expansion. That's important to note. So it might be just pretty much exclusively Zealot heavy, and we'll have to see what he does behind that.
Yeah, we saw that one Stalker actually move into the middle of the map there on the mini-map. He cleared out that bottom Zelnaga Watchtower and that Overlord trying to get in, see what tech path MC is in fact doing. MC shows 2 more gases. This may be not a fake. He's maybe trying to allude to like going for like a heavy Stargate play potentially, but taking 2 gases at one time there, not too critical. Looks like CrazyMoving's going to take the advantage to snipe away 1 Zealot. Not going to get the Stalker though. Stalker can micro back to the high ground. There's no pylons yet anywhere close here. Yeah, I could see you looking for that, and there's really going to be, you know, CrazyMoving is not going to be really worried then too much about what's happening. He has possession of the Zelnaga Watchtowers. He's going to see any move that MC chooses to make from here.
Wow.
He's going to lose a couple Zerglings for free, but that's fine. He can lose those Zerglings. You know, he sees this push coming. Yes.
And that's like, MC doesn't want that to happen, and now MC is advancing toward the third of his opponent. CrazyMoving knows exactly what's going on. 10 roaches on the way. So this shouldn't do too much damage to CrazyMoving. The question is, what does it follow with? Income chat shows 49 drones for the Zerg player. It's not a crazy amount by any means, but adding on some drones as well. And I don't expect MC to commit super hard to it. To this, I should say, as he did add on 2 gases. It is adding on a Twilight Council, perhaps a 2-base blink play.
Yeah, you know what? I like MC's choice here. He initially decided, you know what? I'm going to go pressure that 3rd base. He got up there, saw the roach count, was like, you know what? I'm not going to waste my warpins at that proxy pylon. I'm going to probably just save my units for home. There's no reason for me to do that. I'm just throwing units away at this time. So he decided to back up. He's already forced those roaches.
Exactly.
And there's, you know, we saw the drone count being evened out there. CrazyMoving is increasing that drone count further and further now, 64 to 55 we just saw there. Blink is on the way as well as +2. We may see some Blink harass with observers to complement this and giving view of the high ground coming down from that 4th base location. We'll have to wait and see though. For the time being, MC is just content with sending off 2 bases. CrazyMoving has scattered out. There is no 3rd quite yet, so we'll look to see CrazyMoving preparing for this Blink attack.
Yeah, you know, MC gonna be doing it too. Oh, adding on a Nexus. MC is just blowing my mind today. Adding on 8 gateways and getting Blink and getting +2 implies, you know, you're gonna want to invest as much as possible into this Blink aggression. Now, I'm wondering if he put this Nexus down, wanting his opponent to scout it. Does he cancel it? What do you think?
It's close because the timing. It's either you make a Nexus now or you don't make it at all, just because of the fact that you're making all these gateways. If you were going to get a 3rd, you'd probably want it just a little bit earlier if you're going to play a longer macro game. But this could work for him as well. He is getting Robotics Bay, so no doubt he will not cancel that Nexus. He's going to save it. He's going to wait for some Colossus. And again, CrazyMoving trying to scout that 3rd base with those Lings. And you know, I like the position of this third here. It's going to be easier to defend. You just have to watch out for counterattacks, basically. Good blink there by MC, going to catch a few more Zerglings, and those Zealots are in position. And CrazyMoving does, in fact, scout that third. The one lone Zergling will make it out alive, and he'll hide in the corner.
Yeah, this is a really interesting game. I mean, it seems like MC is like preparing for these huge aggressive waves. First with the 4-gate +1, but he didn't have a pylon, so that kind of like, he's like, all right, I'll just back up, transition to a 2-base type play. And then I thought he was going to do that. He got Blink, got 8 gateways, but now he's going to proceed forward here. There's a lot of Roaches and Lings on the field, though, for CrazyMoving. A lot of Hydras on the way as well. No fourth in sight here from him, which is a little bit interesting because MC, he's going to be on 6 gases. The Zerg is going to be on 6 gases. But MC is going to inherently have that advantage. The gas is just so important late game. The Zerg needs to have those 8 gases to be able to do anything to the later tech of the Protoss play.
MC is going to continue pushing through the middle of the map here, but with Hydras out and no Colossus support, it's going to be very leery for MC to be moving through here, and it looks like CrazyMoving is going to move on forward. MC using those high ground bushes to ineffective. Good force fields there by MC, isolating the Hydras and Roaches. CrazyMoving is trying to move on forward. He's going to retreat, though. MC is in not a very good position. Wants to move back, come back to those Colossus. Yet another bunch of force fields. No. Stalkers getting, Sentry's getting caught out of position. Colossus all naked, all alone by itself. More and more Stalkers on reinforcements here. And it looks like MC, with those force fields now deteriorating, Hydras are going to move forward with the Roach army to soak up some of that damage. Colossus look to be target fired by the Hydralisk. It looks like MC will deflect this push for the time being. More Zerglings being rallied in there from the side. Colossus actually falls, and now the Hydralisk dealing the DPS that they have so high numbers in. But with reinforcements from MC, this battle is going to be so close. More reinforcements coming in for CrazyMoving. CrazyMoving, is he able to break MC's third base here? More and more blinks coming in from the Stalkers. More and more rallied in Roaches. And it looks like this third base is going to die here for MC. No way he's going to be able to save that right now without any Colossus support. His money floating up around 1,000 minerals, 163 to 75 supply. CrazyMoving making a fantastic push through the middle, catching MC out of position.
CrazyMoving pouring on more and more pressure. Again, no fourth behind this, investing so much into this aggression, but ended up taking out the third base of MC. And now MC is left without sentries, a lone Colossus on the field. It does have Thermal Lance and Stalkers and Zealots joining the fight. But his 5th and 6th gas, they're gone. So he's going to have to figure out, all right, do I rebuild my third Nexus? What do I do from here? MC definitely in a very tough situation, down 178 to 91 supply. And CrazyMoving just investing so much aggression on 3 bases. Still no 4th base from him. It has a 4th hatch, but it's just insane. He's just pouring so much of his economy into all these early game units, all these mid-tier units, the Hydras and the Roaches. And it's been quite effective. He took out all the sentries in the middle of the map, took out MC's third, and now what does he do from here? Putting down a Spire, has plenty of money, plenty of gas, but I'm still just finally putting down that 4th. All right, I was getting baffled, but finally getting that down. So looking to get at least a little bit more money by adding 8 Corruptors. Yeah. And he's almost maxed again, so CrazyMoving is going to have a ridiculous army, and I don't know what MC does to stop it.
MC is making the correct decision in getting this third base up. He knows that he's behind, and if he tries any sort of all-in attack from here on out, it's not going to be successful. So he knows, I got to take this into the later game. I got to get to 200 and win the next battle decisively. If I do not, I need my Colossus count to gather up into a high number. Although CrazyMoving is preparing for this, making a very high Corruptor count, and then potentially teching into Broodlords after the Colossus are even dead. And actually CrazyMoving is going to move on forward here with his army. Such a huge army. Does not want to engage, though, through the choke here. MC will be retreating for the time being. But you got to watch out for those Colossus. They're very vulnerable up against the high ground there. CrazyMoving is going to swing around now where it's a little bit more open. Blink's coming forward for MC. And here comes CrazyMoving, moving on forward to the third base. Colossus are doing a lot of damage. It looks like CrazyMoving is going to continue moving forward here. And it looks like the Colossus are falling rapidly, as well as the Stalkers. But it looks like the Roach army is going to be just a little bit too much for MC. He's not going to be able to hold this for the time being. If he has good enough Blink Micro, actually, in composition with this, he should be able to hold. Got to watch out for those Corruptors, though. Corruptors don't want to be caught out of position. You don't want them target fire down once this army, in fact, does die. For CrazyMoving, don't want to lose that high Corruptor count that in fact denies Colossus count. And MC holds for the time being, but The Remax is coming right now, and here's the counterattack again. Yet again, more and more pressure coming from CrazyMoving.
Yeah, this could be the end for MC. CrazyMoving ahead 177 to 69 in that supply count. Corrupt is overhead just there for moral support. It seems like more and more roaches coming in. Hive on the way for CrazyMoving. This third will fall. Look at all these roaches silenced. MC has no answer. Them going to try to blink to the low ground, but there's the GG from MC, and CrazyMoving is going to take game number 1 in this best of 3. MC has some work to do.
We can see very well why CrazyMoving has made his way and been so successful through that open bracket, taking that game relatively convincingly against MC. Some people would say very, very surprising, but we're going to have game number 2 for you guys real quick here. We're going to throw it to a quick commercial break. I'm Silence, and here with me is Axel. Stay tuned for game number 2.